So, listen to I have something to share to you both. And this is called the novel called Ilustrado by Miguel Sejico. It is an experimental novel made in 2008. The protagonist of the story is siya yapon, Miguel Sejico, is investigating the suspicious death of his mentor, Crispin Salvador, whose final unpublished work was an expose of rampant political corruption in the Philippines. Sejico's debut novel, Ilustrado, was warmly received by critics and won the 2008 Asian Literary Prize. Experimental in form, Ilustrado combines narration in the voice of Miguel, with sections told by a third-person narrator who turns about to be Salvador himself. Iyang mentor. You listening? I know you cannot understand, but it is in English. Okay? You have to read this when you grow up. Okay, AG?
Okay.
Huh? Moving on. Miguel's narrative is also punctuated by excerpts from Salvador's writing. So, let's move on to the summary itself. The novel opens with a prologue signed by Miguel, summarizing the life of his mentor and former professor, Crispin Salvador, a famous Filipino writer who fled to the country in 1972, a teacher at Columbia University. He was recently found dead in New York City. While his death has been ruled as suicide, Miguel remains convinced that he was murdered. At the time of his death, Salvador was close to finishing a book 20 years in making, entitled The Bridges Ablaze, in which he described the generations, long times of the Filipino elite to cronyism, illegal logging, gambling, kidnapping, corruption, along with their related component sins. This manuscript was found to be missing from Salvador's possessions at the time of his death. Mauto, ni set out si Miguel nga investigate ang iyang mentor, ang death sa iyang mentor, para ma-continue ang work, no? The account of his life and work. His first clue is the single page of Salvador's manuscript, mentioning several names, mga notable figures of the literary and political clans of the Philippines. As he, moto ni Florshag Manila, no? As he lands, Miguel witnesses an explosion of the factory. He learns that this factory was run by Pilfirst, a corporation that bribes politicians to overlook its appalling safety record. Then Miguel interviews Salvador's sister Lena, who fills him in on Salvador's early life as a member of the Filipino elite. From Lena, Miguel learns that his mentor's illegitimate daughter named Dulcinea. Lena suggests that Miguel speak to an old family friend, Miss Florentina, to find out more. That night, Miguel meets up with some old friends and goes clubbing. Then the next day, at a book launch, he meets and falls a young woman named Sadie Gonzalez. Sadie suggests that her mother, a big Salvador fan, might have some useful information. Miguel eagerly accepts her invitation to dinner, and it doesn't go well. Then Miss Florentina tells Miguel where to find Dulcinea, si Juan, ang anak ni Juan, Crispin Salvador, later at that theater. Miguel is due to meet Marcel Avellaneda, a political journalist and an old friend of Salvador's. But Marcel doesn't arrive. While Miguel is out clubbing with Sadie, a typhoon hits the city, and the streets are flooded. Sadie and Miguel are stranded. Miguel sees two children floating down the road on an ice cream truck, and he climbs out of the car to rescue them He fell into an open manhole and yeah, tells his demise. So yeah, ano to? It's a bit dark, and it serves as a ilustrado, serves as an introduction to Filipino history and politics. Kabaw ko, mawa ka kasabot. Pero I hope you will read it soon, okay? I hope you will know the movement of this country. As young as your age, you must know about the problems of your country and don't trust bad people, okay? Huh? So yeah, to siya, to ang team sa Ilustrado. I hope you learn something. Even though nga experimental novel lang siya, pero dako na kay nagtabang ni Miguel Sergico. So, to ang team kay determination, persistence, no? Nga, wala siya ni-give up sa life, no? Mahita siyang mentor. Until nga, naabot na sa siyang successful na life. So, yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening. Pak pak.